How beautiful is this worldly life, but not a soul shall remain. We've all come into this world only to leave it one day. I can see that everything around me rises then fades away. Life is just a passing moment, nothing is meant to stay. Oh, this worldly life has an end, and it's then real life begins. A world where we will live forever. This beautiful worldly life has an end. It's just a bridge that must be crossed to a life that will go on forever. So many years quickly slipping by, like the sleepers of the cave. Wake up and make a choice before we end up in our graves. You didn't put me here in vain. I know I'll be held accountable for what I do. This life is just a journey, and it's taking me back to you. Oh, oh. This worldly life has an end, and it's then real life begins. A world where we will live forever. This beautiful worldly life has an end. It's just a bridge that must be crossed to a life that will go on forever. So many get caught in this beautiful web. It's gardens and common infatuation, but surely then understand at the final stop that it's gardens are meant for cultivation. Oh, this worldly life has an end, and it's then real life begins. A world where we will live forever. This beautiful worldly life has an end. It's just a bridge that must be crossed to a life that will go.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahümme la tahmil. Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Hocam siksi bir şey. Siksi bir şey.
Abantu mukaaga naye nga twagamba abaana b'omugenzi mumba musooka kulisina abantu mukaaga gundi ne gundi gimujje then n'abaana basatu inshallah. Abaana b'omugenzi mujje musooka kawamu mukaaga.
Ask me about love and wanna know about it. My answer would be it's everything about Allah, the pure love to our souls, the creator of you and So when the time gets hard, there's no way to turn. As he promised, he will always be there to bless us with his love and his mercy. 'Cause as he promised, he will always be there. He's always watching us, guiding us, and he knows what's deep in our hearts. So when you lose your way, to Allah you should turn. 'Cause as he promised, he will always be there. He brings us out from the darkness into the light. Subhanallah, capable of everything. We should never feel afraid of anything, as long as we follow his guidance all the way through our short time we have in this life. Soon it'll all be over and we'll be in his heaven and we'll all be fine. So when the time gets hard, there's no way to turn. As he promised, he will always be there to bless us with his love and his mercy. 'Cause as he promised, he will always be there. He's always watching us, guiding us, and he knows what's deep in our hearts. So when you lose your way, to Allah you should turn. 'Cause as he promised, he will always be there. Allahu Akbar, 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 Allah. So when the time gets hard, there's no way to turn. As he promised, he will always be there to bless us with his love and his mercy. 'Cause as he promised, he will always be there. He's always watching us, guiding us, and he knows what's deep in our hearts. So when you lose your way, to Allah you should turn. 'Cause as he promised, he will always be there. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar,
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وفي الآخرين وفي الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اغفر له وارحمه، اللهم عافه واعف عنه، اللهم أكرم منزله، اللهم وسع مدخله، اللهم جاف الأرض عن جنبيه، اللهم إن كان محسنا فزد في إحسانه، وإن كان مسيئا فتجاوز عن سيئاته، اللهم جازه بالإحسان إحسانا وبالسوء صفحا وعفوا وغفرانا. اللهم لقه برحمتك رضاك، اللهم قه عذابك يوم تبعث عبادك. اللهم باعد بينه وبين الذنوب والخطايا كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب. اللهم نقي من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. اللهم اغسله من الذنوب والخطايا بالثلج. اللهم اغفر له وارحمه. اللهم اجعل قبره روضة من رياض الجنة. اللهم اجعل قبره روضة من رياض الجنة. اللهم ادخل عليه في قبره الضياء والنور والفسحة والسرور، ولقه برحمتك رضاك. اللهم لقه برحمتك رضاك. اللهم ثبت لسانه عند السؤال. اللهم ألهمه الصواب والجواب. اللهم ألهمه الصواب والجواب. اللهم ذكره بأن ربه الله، وبأن دينه الإسلام، وبأن نبيه محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم ثبت لسانه عند السؤال. اللهم ارفع درجته في المهديين. اللهم اخلفه في عقبه في الغابرين. اللهم اجعله مع الذين أنعمت عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين، وحسن أولئك رفيقا. اللهم اجعل صباحه إلى جناتك جنات النعيم في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة. اللهم ارحمه إذا نسي اسمه فلم يذكره ذاكر، وارحمه إذا اندرس قبره فلم يزره زائر. اللهم تداركه هنالك برحمتك الواسعة، واذهب عنه يا مولانا ظلمة القبر بالأنوار الساطعة. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وذكرنا وأنثانا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا، واغفر لجميع المسلمين الأحياء منهم والميتين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. عظم الله أجركم وغفر لميتكم، والبقاء لله وحده. كان دبرو فش
جزاك الله خير.
الله يبارك. يسقى قوة المسكين خطبة الجمعة إن شاء الله. ففلوت
جزاك الله خير إن شاء الله.
يوفنتا سنداق
إن شاء الله.
السلام عليكم. يسقى قوة الجمعة إن شاء الله. فلوت.
إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Ikigambo cyange kiri kimu na abamanyi nti kino kye tuliko wano buli omu kirindirire oba oyagala toyagala tekiriko discussion. Tuyinza okudiscussinga ku birala nti oba waliwo obulamu oluvannyuma lwa kino, naye ekikulu muli kyonna kyokkiriza kana akaseera kagire eki kalindirire, naye okalindirira okulungi ng'okola emirimu egyo Allah tabaraka wa taala gye yakugamba okukola, ng'oleka ebibi Allah subhanahu wa taala bye yakugaana okukola. Nabwe kityo omugenzi tusaba Allah subhanahu wa taala amusonyiwe. Essaawa eno talina kyasigaza kigenda kumugasa okuggyako emirimu gye yakola kuno ku nsi. Nabbi sallallahu alaihi wasallam yagamba nti omuntu bw'afa byonna byabadde akola bikoma nga tewakyali kimugasa. Bizinensi z'abadde akola na buli kimu essaawa eno tekuli kigenda kumugasa okuggyako ebintu bisatu. N'agamba nti omwana gw'aba alese ku nsi omulongoofu ng'amusabira. Abaana b'omugenzi kitammwe essaawa eno kyabaagalamu kintu kimu, kumusabira. Ekyokubiri kyoleka ku nsi nga kigenda kugasa mu kinnya wano ye irimu, knowledge ennungi gye waleka ku nsi, okuyigiriza kwe waleka ku nsi, abaana be waweerera n'ebirala, ne saddaaka oba ekyoba owaddeyo nga kiyamba abantu abalala. Byebyo ebintu bisatu ebiba bigenda okuyamba ng'oli mu kinnya wano. N'olw'ensonga eyo bassebo ne bannyabo, mbakuutira ekintu kimu, tugende mukole Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be yabagamba okukola. Muve ku mwenge. Omusiraamu tanywa mwenge. Bw'oba onywa omwenge nga weyita musiraamu, omala biseera biveeko, weyita ekirala. Otherwise Allah bw'akuttira ku ekyo lindirira, kubanga bwe nkugambye kye tuliko wano tekirina discussion. Kyo kirinde, ate okufa ne lw'onoofa togenda kumanya kuba ddwo kujja lumu, ne lw'ofa tomanya nti ogize eki. Kakati kye kiseera ekituufu okwekuba mu mutima, okwebuulirira, okole ebyo Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bye yakugamba okukola. Osaale swala 5, osaale swala 5 ng'omusiraamu, kuba Allah yakikulagira okikola. Okole ebirungi, oleke kumenyeka nnyo na nsi, kubanga tukomekereza nayo bwe tuti. Kola Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bye yakugamba okukola, bye yagamba obireke. N'olw'ebigambo ebyo nsaba Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asonyiwe omugenzi, ate agumye bannannyini mufu. Tusaba Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala atuwe enkomerero ennungi, atuwe obusobozi okukola ebyo bye yatugamba okukola, atujje ku bikyamu bye yatugaana okukola. N'olw'ensonga basawo ne bannyabo nyongera okubagiza famire y'omugenzi nti nsaba Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abagumye, era omugenzi waffe ono Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amusonyiwe byonna ebyamusobako. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okusinziira ku kye nategedde, kuba simanyi waliwo omwogezi ku saidi y'abafiirwa, naye okusinziira ku kye nategedde nti waliwo enteekateeka mu lokaali eyawa naalo maama Hondar, ndowooza muwuliddeyo. Essaawa mmeka? 8 we tugenda okuŋŋaanira okwongera okusiibula munnaffe n'okwogera bye tunaatusazeewo okwogera, kuba akati wano obudde mwonna mubula tutintima butintima inshallah. So abeera asobodde jangu obeereyo twongere okusabira muganda waffe, kuba tugenda kubaayo n'edduwa ey'okusabira muganda waffe inshallah, n'okubaako ebigambo ebirala bituwulira okuva mu bamaseeka abanaaba basobodde inshallah. Salaamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mujje tuteekeko ettaka, paka tunagamba tuwalikoma, then nawuliddeyo abalina abazze n'ebimuli musobola biteekako nga tumaze. So si kati sisuubira nti waliwo, tewali mwogezi.
Rukun iman 6 perkara, rukun Islam 5 perkara, rukun iman 6 perkara. Mari bersama menghayatinya, marilah kita beramal bersama. Mari bersama menghayatinya, marilah kita beramal bersama. Rukun Islam 5 perkara. Pertama mengucap 2 kalimat syahadah. Rukun Islam 5 perkara. Pertama mengucap 2 kalimat syahadah. Kedua sembahyang, ketiga berpuasa, keempat zakat, kelima
La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Today we are here burying our brother. Today we are here burying our brother, my elder brother, Hassan KABUYE, a man I respect, a man I took advice from, a kind, loving father, full of sweet memories from him. In the life we are given, it is taken from us by the rules of the law that God made. So hard to believe that we are here saying bye-bye to our brother. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. Hassan was a great man who could smile and listen and advise after. Especially when I came to Sweden, I met many people from Russia who were loving. At my young age, as stubborn as I was, I could get a father to lead me, a brother. So painful, but that's how we have to. Today we are in his last home. Tomorrow it's another. And with that we say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. He has left children, loving, caring, and understanding. So I pray and I wish Allah forgive him for what he went wrong too as a human. Especially in this moment, for us, we believe that when we see our last brother going, it's time for us to pray for ourselves. The good deeds he did should always be followed, and we will pray for him. He gave us a memory to wish us happy living, and soon Ramadan is coming. He was always
adorable at donations. Many good things I remember about him. Sadly, I take them inside me to lead me, and I'll do the same. I'll pass them over to others. May the Lord receive him and forgive him, and praisely we will. Soon Ramadan is coming. I'll continue doing what he has been doing. Zakah, especially in the mosques, a lot he done to our mosque in Fitia. He bought the mats in the year 2015. He brought them direct from London for that mosque. That's why always they will remember him, and always have been a naming rhyming. I'm Hassan Kajimu Abe Lubobo. He's my elder brother clansman, Hassan KABUYE. As we see the auction going, we are all mourning, and we are still mourning. But that's that. Assalamu
And
alaikum.
he was thrown in the well, or locked in the dungeon, betrayed by his own flesh and blood, convicted of what he did not. Handsome Yusuf sighed, Allah is enough for me. Handsome Yusuf sighed, Allah is enough for me. Taken in as a slave, made to work night and day, resisting all temptation. Allah is enough for me. Until the king had a dream, many hard years had gone by, patience and repentance. Allah is enough for me till the fortune.
Yes, my name is Paul Siu, and from Uganda. It's unfortunate that we are meeting under such very sad circumstances. We've lost a brother, a friend, a father, a husband, and a giant when it comes to the academic world. Hassan KABUYE was a very close friend of ours. We studied together in the former Soviet Union, and when we came to Sweden here, we got along very well as both former schoolmates and also as friends. He was a very resourceful character and very, very helpful. Above all, he was a human being. He was empathic. He was deep. He loved people, and he loved to work with people, and more especially children who were going through very difficult times in their lives. We had a get together just before Christmas, and we had a good remembrance of all the things that we had done through the year while we were having a dinner. Shortly thereafter, we parted ways, and little did we know that that would be the last time we would be seeing him. It was a bit of a shock around Christmas time when we were calling to say hello to each other that we only got to know when we were not getting any responses that our late brother was in a critical condition in the hospital. It was a bit of a shocker since it was hardly a week and a half before that we had had a common dinner. We prayed and hoped that this would be over, but the Almighty Lord had his own plans. The family and the friends were served to a very rude shock on the 10th of January to the very sad news that he had left us. Very untimely, very unexpected, but we had, after some few days, to learn to first act. First, we denied, of course, as usual, that it can happen, but we had to learn to accept that it is possible. So it is with such a sad and a heavy heart that we are here today to witness this. But we must also celebrate his life, because in his life, he has accomplished and achieved quite much. On the academic front, he has done exceptionally well. He has managed to reach all the limits that a person would have definitely wished to reach when he sets his target on the type of professional or career discipline path that he sets himself out to do. And as a friend, he has, of course, had a very big community of friends, which we would always tap into the resourcefulness that he had, and vice versa. So we are very, very grateful that despite the fact that it's a sad moment, but we also celebrate and appreciate the life that he has led, and that everything that he has done and accomplished will not go in vain. That we have a lot to learn from, and with that hope that his soul rests in eternal peace. Thank you. Fare thee well, Dr. Hassan KABUYE. Thank you.
Sad day for me, and that my friend has departed from me, and I'm shocked. I'm short of words, but the rest I'll be saying it again when we gather. I miss you, and I'll say goodbye.
Every morning on every news flash, I hear the sorrow of the world. It seems like everybody's lost and scared, trying to make sense of it all. And as I travel to and fro, so many faces pass me by. I see lonely hearts living lonely lives, just biding their time. And while we call ourselves civilized, many people living empty lives as they drone their way through day and night. I pray for our world, I pray for every child, I pray for our world to be filled with smiles.
لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشرهم بمغفرة وأجر كريم نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصينا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إن إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة يرجني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعة شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخلوا الجنة يا ليت قومي يعلمون قومه من بعد كل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريح لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا ونطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إليه ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يحسنون ألا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق الرسول فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعلمون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم لا أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثله بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا يقول له كن فيكون ما ترى في خلق الرحمن تفاوت ارجع البصر هل ترى من فتور فإنا لهم عذاب السعير وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيكا وهو تفور تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير. إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير. لا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير. هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه نشور. أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور. أم أمنتم من في السماء الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير. أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبلن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير. هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور. هذا الذي يرزقكم أن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور. فمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أم يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم. قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما أكبر. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. اللهم اجعلنا من المفلحون. لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعود حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو يخفوا به يحاسبكم به الله ويغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء وهو على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. إن الله تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد يا ربي صل يا ربي صل عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد يا ربي صل عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد يا رب صل عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد يا رب. اللهم صل على محمد يا رب صل عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد يا رب صل عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد يا رب صل عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين آمين آمين. وصل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين آمين. وصل على سيدنا محمد في الملأ على إلى يوم الدين آمين. اللهم اغفر عبدك حسن كويه اللهم اغفر له وارحمه وعافه واعف عنه آمين.
وأكرم نزله ووسع مدخله
آمين
واغسله بماء وثلج وبرد
آمين
ونقه من
من
الخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس
آمين
وأبدله دارا خيرا من داره
آمين
وأهلا خيرا من أهله
آمين
وزوجا خيرا من زوجه
آمين
وقه فتنة القبر
آمين
وعذاب النار
آمين
اللهم اغفر لحينا
آمين
وميتنا
آمين
وشاهدنا
آمين
وغائبنا
آمين
وصغيرنا وكبيرنا
آمين
وذكرنا وأنثانا
آمين
اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام
آمين
ومن توفينا حسن في جوارك فقه من فتنة القبر وعذاب النار
آمين
وأنت أهل الوفاء والحق فاغفر له وارحمه إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم
آمين
اللهم أنت ربه
آمين
وأنت خالقه
آمين
وأنت هدي الإسلام
آمين
وأنت قبط روحه
آمين
وأنت أعلم بسره وعلانيته
آمين
جئنا شفعاء فاغفر له يا رب العالمين الفاتحة
آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين أنا bannange omukolo ogw'okusabira muganda waffe bwe gutyo bwe tutandise oluvannyuma lw'okumuteeka wali mu kinnya ekyo ffenna kye tujja okubeeramu. Twebaza sheekhi waffe ono abatamumanyi mumulabe mwetegereze. Sheekhi ono abeera Timoro nga yakuguka mu bya ekisiraamu okuva e Saudi Arabia mu yunivasite yaayo gye yasomera n'abeera ordained. Ndoza bengamba ordained muba mukitegeera bulungi nga abantu abalala aba bishops babeera ordained, naye yabeera ki okubeera nti musomesa wa ddiini ya Busiraamu. Emitendera gyonna yagiyitamu okuva e Uganda n'agenda mu yunivasite n'emutendeka n'afuukira ddala sheekh. Era bwe yajja wano abeera Timoro gy'akolera obwa imaamu. Tumwebazizza nnyo okubeera nga yeegasse naffe ku mulimu guno. Okufa si kintu kyangu, kizibu nnyo. Mu Busiraamu omuntu bw'afiirwako omuntu we, muganda we, mwannyina, kitaawe, sengaawe, mulina yenna amuli okumpi, Obusiraamu butukakatako okubeera nga tubudaabuda abafiirwa. Abaana bali wano ne maama waabwe, tulina okubabudaabuda, okubagumya. Si kyangu ng'omuntu ofiiriddwa. Buli muntu alina engeri ye gy'areactingamu. Naye nja kwebaza mwenna ababaddewo ebbanga lyonna lye mubadde nga mujja wano okubudaabuda abaana n'omukyala mu lunaku luno obulimu paka lwe tuziise omuntu wano mu nsi eno gye tulimu ffenna gye twajjamu. Si kyangu, kitwala ebbanga ddene. Amateeka g'Obusiraamu gatulagira nti omuntu bw'aba afudde tekyetaaga kumala ssaawa 24 nga tonnamuziika, olw'okuba ebintu bingi ebibaawo ebijja okujja ne emotion zo nnyini z'obeera nazo mu mubiri. Kati babagamba, Obusiraamu bugamba bw'afa aba afudde, mumuziikire bwo, ekyo mumanye nti kize eki tumuziise. Naye kaakati mulaba wano mu nsi eno ze tulimu ebintu bingi ebirina okumala okutegekebwa, kino kiri kiki. Kati mulaba ekiseera kino kyonna kiwanvuye, ekiwanvuwa kiba kizibu nnyo okutuusa olwaleero omusajja lwe tumutadde wali. Owulidde? Kaakati ate awo nawo ekiro kya leero kijja kuba kizibu nnyo. kati abantu mbeebaza nnyo abayimiriddewo okubeera nga mubudaabuda abaana bano n'abooluganda abalala bonna okulaba nti bayita mu kiseera kino. Oli ayinza okuba nga mugagga ng'alina essente nnyingi nnyo, ng'alina ente, ng'alina ebiraalo by'ente, ng'alina amayumba, ng'alina biki, byonna tebigasa. Mu Qur'ani n'ekitiibwa etugamba almaalu walbanuun, okusinga ebeegamba ffe abasajja nti almaalu walbanuun zinatul hayaati dunya, emmaali n'abaana byakwewunda kwa ku nsi. Omuntu bw'ofuna emmaali nnyingi ennyo ojja kwewunda bwewunzi nayo ku nsi. N'abaana, nze nina abaana 6, nina abaana 40, naye ki ekisigalawo? Bw'ofa ng'ofudde, tewali n'ekimu ky'ogenda nakyo. Era luli bwe nnali wano mu Lumbe abaaliwo nababuulirako katono. Omuntu yenna bw'afa, omusajja tumuteeka mu suukeezi 3. Era Hassan tumutaddemu olwaleero essuukeezi 3. Omukyala tumuteeka mu ssuuka 5, kubanga tulina gye tujjako ne tugibikkirira nga bw'olaba mukyala gundi oli bwe yeebikkiridde. Ekyo ne tugimusibako, yeeweze ekyokutaano. Naye omusajja abeera mu ssuuka 3 zokka. Hassan tumutaddeyo awo wansi, ffe tumunaazizza ne tumala bulungi ne tumuzinga mu ssuuka ezo 3 basi. Kyekintu kyokka kyagenda nakyo ku nsi, tewaliwo kirala. Ne bwe yalibadde n'empete y'ebbeeyi yonna twaligijje, ne bwe yalibadde n'erinnya erya golodi twalirikuddemu. Nange wano yalina ekyuma mu kugulu, era mujja kugenda wali mu kinzijemu. Yes, owulidde, togenda nakyo, ogenda nga bagira ki, n'ogende wa mukamaawo. Naye tusifa abasigadde ku nsi. Abasigadde ku nsi bye bintu 3 Sheekh ono abyogeddeko ali ku ntaana katono, n'akugamba omwana omulongoofu. Abaana ba Kabuye muteekwa kuba nga mujja kubeera abaana balongoofu. Obwana obulongoofu kwe kubeera nga musabira kitammwe, mubeere nga mu kaseera mukirowoozaako. Taata waffe ali luddawa, mulabye waliwo tumulese, ffe tubagambye mumusitule okuva mu ddwaliro, mumulese mumutaddeyo. Buli kaseera mulowoozeeko wayo mumulese ali ku ki. Tajja babuulira ne munaayogera mutya, ne munaaba mwagala mutya. Tajja kubabuulira kyaliko awo. Naye Qur'an eno mu madiini gonna obusiraamu bwe businga okwogera ku ki, after death. Obusiraamu butulambika bingi nnyo. Abaagala okumanya ng'omuntu amaze okufa kiki ekiddako bingi nnyo. Nze musobola okuntuukirirako, sobola obabuulira ne Sheekh ono ajja kubabuulirako, kubanga byonna tusobola bimalayo wano. Boogera bingi nnyo. Qur'an eyogera bingi. Kiki ekiddako ng'omuntu afudde okutuusa gye tuyita paradise, ennyumba ey'emirembe eyo, ejjana. Waliyo obulamu obulala eyo. Wano okufa si kwekoma, waliyo obulamu obulala bwe tugira ki. Naye obulamu obwo bwetaaga kubeera nga wabukolerera ku nsi kuno, okubeera nga ojja kubeera mu bulamu obulungi. Qur'an etunyonyola netugamba waliyo eyo paradise gye tuyita ejjana, ekulukuta emigga wansi wajje tutalabangako. Erina ebintu bingi nnyo bye tutalabangako, babitunyumiza bunyumizi muno mu Qur'an. Naye omuntu walibadde naawe weegomba okubimanyaako noga mbadde ndyazaamanya gundi, sijja mulyazaamanya ti mbadde njagala okugenda wali mmenya oluggi, Katonda wange namugamba ntya. bwe natuukawo wansi awo waliwo ebibuuzo bingi nyaawo wetulese muganda waffe webiri. Kakati omwana omulongoofu yo yasigala ku nsi n'asabira ku kitaawe. Okusabira kitaawe kyeki? Kwe kukola edduwa. N'okwata edduwa n'ogamba taata wange Mukama Katonda wansi awo olaba wali kizikiza, waliwo ekizikiza awo kingi nnyo kubanga ttaka tulina tulitaddeko. Mulaba musajja mulabye twamusaanikidde ne tumuteekayo mu kizikiza. Naye Qur'ani ne tugamba nti bw'obanga omusajja akola emirimu mirungi ekitangaala kimujjira. Waliyo ekitangaala eyo. Bw'obanga yakola emirimu bibi wabeera wafunda. Naye buli lunaku lwera olidde Sheekh wano ng'asoma agambye ateeka ekitangaala. Omusajja yabeera wano Dokita Mulamba bw'abanga Mukama Katonda yamuyamba nga Mukama Katonda yamuwa ekitone ekyo n'asomesaayo ku bantu kyekijja omuyamba wansi awo. Abantu ffenna tuli wano naye ng'omuntu osobola okufuna ku baana ba kojjaawo eyo, abaana ba ssengaawo, abaana ba kojjaawo, abaana be bakuli okumpi ab'ekikawo omuntu oyo yajja omuyamba naawe ejja kukuyamba. Gw'olowooza nti nno ki? Naye gwe omuyambye ate ojja muyamba mu nsi abeere wa mugaso naye ng'ate naawe ofunyeemu. Osadaaka ekulukuta okujja tuyita ekulukuta kwekwo okuzimba amasinzizo. Genda osanga omuzikiti gwawo oteekemu mikeeka. Ffe abantu batutuula wansi ku mikeeka. Kwatayo $200 emiyembe gigula ennusu 10,000 ekikolo ky'emiyembe ku ssomero lyonnaawo gyetoolole giti. Abaana bajja kulya buli basomerawo bajja kulya emiyembe egyo buli mwaka nga gw'ofuna okutuusa lwe gikaddiwa ne giggwawo. Sima oluzzi oba teekawo nayikondo buli anajja okukima amazzi bakukyalo. Nayikondo ziyinza okuba nga zigula emitwalo nga 5 naye omuntu ali e Sweden wano emitwalo 5. Owulidde oyinza okubeera ng'oli mu korona mmeka? Korona 1000 lukka ne basima nayikondo nebeerawo. Ojja kubanga gw'osigadde ofuna byebintu ebyo bye tulina okwenyigiramu nga tumaze okulaba ki gye tugenda wazibu ate tewali atajja kutuukayo. Kakati muganda waffe bw'abanga ebyo yabikola Mukama amusaasire, bw'aba teyabikola ffe tulina omwegayirira ng'abaana ng'abakyala ng'ab'emikwano abasigaddeko ku nsi era temukigayaalirira. Buli kaseera abalala bateekawo olunaku lwe yafiirako. Omugaa ffe buli mwaka olunaku lwe yafiirako tukolawo edduwa. Dduwa kitegeeza kusaba mu Lusiraamu, mu Basiraamu. Edduwa kitegeeza kusaba, kusoma Qur'ani eno. Kati nga bwe tusomye tutulinawo kirala kyonna kye tukola. Tukwata bukwasi Qur'an, bamasheeka ababaalawo nga bagamba tulonde nga balonda bitundu. N'ebitundu ebimu bimanyiddwa bye tusoma. Nga kati bwe tusomye nga tumala nga twegayirira Mukama Katonda. Mukama Katonda saasira taata wange, saasira maama wange, saasira maani abalala bonna Hassan tumusabidde kubanga ye mukulu. Yafuna musera kubanga ye mukulu naye ate tusabiddemu n'abalala. Gw'osabidde taatawo, oli asabidde kusengaawe, oli asabidde ki? Kyekyo twagambye mu mutima. Kale ekyo kye tubeerako ne tukikola. Nolwekyo mbeebaza nnyo bye munna ababaddewo ababuzaabuza abaana era abaana temugira ki ffe abamu tubadde tetubamanyi tubalabidde wano. Omukyala Irene gwe tusinga okumanya abamu naye nammwe mutulabye eyo ffe abusinza amaaso agange tegakyalaba bulungi owulidde bwe muba mundabye eyo ng'onkwata ku mukono ng'oŋŋamba ssebo
If you
kankubuuze.
ask me, why do I stand here so unafraid of everything around me? Proudly I would say, I am a Muslim. If you ask her, why does she dress that way, all covered up in a world that gives it all away? Proudly she would say, I am a Muslim. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض بغير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض بغير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. If you ask me, surely this cannot be. You give your wealth so free, and you say your life is charity. It ain't hard to see, I am a Muslim. If you ask him, why does it hurt so when he sees injustice, even though it's folks he doesn't know? Tears in his eyes, he says, I am a Muslim. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. If you ask her, why doesn't she cry? There's no one by her side. She's the only one that's left behind. Patiently she sighs, I am a Muslim. If you ask him, why does he still pray 5 times a day when so many others have strayed? Smiling he would say, I am a Muslim. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. دين الإسلام ديني والعرض غير ديني محمد اللي هديني نور الإيمان. If you ask me, why do I love you? No matter where you are, we are the greatest ummah with the beating of our hearts. We are Muslims. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammad al-Mustafa. Muhammad is his messenger. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammad al-Mustafa. Muhammad is his messenger. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammad al-Mustafa. Muhammad is his messenger. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah.
Proclaim
welcome here today. The reason why we are here is well known to all of you. We've lost a dear one, Dr. Hassan KABUYE, and we are gathered here in remembrance of his life. We are here to celebrate a life well lived. So we are going to have a few speakers during the course of the afternoon or evening, and they will be coming in a predetermined order. So our work here this evening is to celebrate the life of our dear brother, Dr. Hassan KABUYE, a friend, a husband, a dear one. So that as he leaves us, we remember those moments that we shared together with him that were the hallmarks of his life. Because Hassan must have touched all of us who are here in one way or the other. And it's only befitting, normal, natural, and in place that we sit down, remember what he was as a person, and in this way we get closure and can go forward. It is only but natural that we go through this full cycle of a person's life. We shall have snacks. They will be served as we are having the evening. Then the locale has got a fire exit right behind there. You can see the signs up there. So in case of a fire, you just follow the signs and you'll get out. There are places and we have much under that. And of course, the COVID restrictions have been lifted, but it is only normal that we exercise the best practice and try, of course, to in our toolbox, operate on a standard operations procedure. So those are the few practicalities. So I will be co-assisted by two gentlemen here, Mr. Elias Kisitu and Mr. Godfrey Seru. Those of you who are scheduled to speak, you will be contacted a few moments before your speech. Most of you who are to deliver a speech or a word already know this, but you'll be contacted a few moments before you deliver your word or two. So that will be the order of events. So I would like to kick off the evening with a short prayer, and my colleague here, Mr. Elias Kisitu, will introduce the Sheikh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. As he has said, we all know exactly why we have gathered here tonight, to remember the life of a great friend, a great father, a great husband, a great Ugandan. Just a few remarks on this gentleman. Some of you may not have known him. I remember when he lived in Westeros, his theme of life was to change the lives of foreigners, mostly Africans, in Sweden. He worked tirelessly and selflessly to see that each and every person is touched and changed. So he has touched our hearts and souls. That's why we are all gathered here. The only bad thing that after having done all that good thing, he disappeared. And here we are today to remember him. Today is not to hold long speeches, because all of us are seated here to look into faces of each other, to remember this great man. But as usually tradition, we usually lead our deliberation for today by a short prayer, where I will invite one of the sheikhs here to come and lead the prayer. Sir, can you lead them?
Naam, assalamu alaikum, Holy Quran. Because the recitation of the Holy Quran is a prayer also. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Thank you, Sheikh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Usually, those of you, as I was instructed, to sometimes tell you the meaning of what these sheikhs are really doing. The first thing is that when somebody dies, he may not need food, he may not need his children around, he may not need his wife or husband, but he always is saying, can you read the Quran for me? And that's why the Sheikh has been doing that. And any of you who is there, having a private, short period of time there, you can read or recite it. If you can, recite the Quran for him, because that's the only thing he wants now after his burial. So I don't know where Paul is. He could continue with the program for us tonight. And later on, I will invite Mr. Muallim Nasser Yombia to tell us something, but after Paul has said something to us.
And well wishers. Many of you definitely knew Hassan in one way or the other. However, some may not have known him that much. Or even if you knew, maybe you did not know certain things about him. So we've got here a few important stops or markers in his life's journey in form of a short biography. So I'll be reading a little compressed version of his biography so that all of us come to the same speed, at least when it comes to knowing a little bit about his background. The late Dr. Hassan, August 1958, to the late Mrs. Asha Batenga and the late Mr. Hassan KABUYE of Kiriagonja. Which schools did he attend? Between 1965-71, he attended Bukoto Muslim Primary School. And between 1972 and 75, he attended Mahmood High School, Mengo, Kampala, or Kampala. 1976 to 77, he attended the International Correspondence School in Nairobi, Kenya. 1978 to 79, he attended Odessa Polytechnic Institute, Odessa, in Ukraine. Between 1979 and 1984, he attended Azerbaijan State University in Baku, Azerbaijan, that is in the former Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics, commonly known then as the Soviet Union. Between 1984 and 1987, he did a postgraduate research at the Institute of African Studies in the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics Academy of Sciences, Moscow, in Russia. Between 1998 and 2001, he undertook studies in social work in Stockholm's University. What was his work history? He worked mainly as a social worker. As you may see, his training was focused on two areas mainly, that is the legal profession and then social work studies. So in 1998 to 2000, he worked at Lidingö in the social services department here in Stockholm. Then he worked as a social worker between 2000 and 2002 at Stockholm City, the Hässelby, Vällingby local authority. Then he was a trainee year 2000 as the prisons for the prison and the probation services here in Stockholm. He went further then between 2004 and 2005 to work at Sigtuna Commune. He then relocated outside of Sweden, went to the United Kingdom, and worked as a social worker between 2005 and 2009. He then came back to Stockholm, or Sweden, and between 2016 and 2021, he has been working at Botkyrka Commune as a social worker. What were his academic qualifications? We'll take only the last ones. He had a Bachelor of Sciences in Social Works. He had a Master of Laws, LLM with honors. He had a Doctor of Philosophy in Jurisprudence, that is a PhD jurist. Had a certificate in Russian language as a teacher of the Russian language. Then, of course, he had some postdoctoral research testimonials. Of course, then he did a ton of other courses in Swedish, in psychology, in philosophy, in French, in data processing, in contract law, in company law, and so on and so forth. And yeah. Those were the academic qualifications. Hence the title doctor, although of course in many ordinary day-to-day circumstances, you do not attach the academic titles in your day-to-day speak or activity. And then the children. He is survived by 2 sons and 2 daughters. Lillemor Taylor Erickson, Calvin KABUYE, you are recognized, Adam KABUYE, you are recognized, and Kisha KABUYE, you are recognized. Thank you. Those were the children. What about outside of the what we would call the curricula or the traditional things? What were his hobbies or interests? There were quite many of them, but one, as already pointed out by Mr. Arias Kisitu here, was civil society organization participation and activities, what we call in Swedish ideal forening activities. We, among others, in the Ugandan community here, many such, and he was participating in very many of them, but one of them, which I am member to, is the Together for Progress. He was very active in it. So he had quite many other activities outside, of course, the normal things. So that is the biography of Hassan KABUYE in a nutshell. It's a compressed version of it. It would be a bit too much to go into all the details, but I think this gives you a sort of overview of who Mr. Hassan KABUYE was. So, there are many friends here, of course, who have come to share the moment with us, to celebrate the life of Hassan KABUYE, Dr. Hassan KABUYE. And so, we will not be wasting time. I will be inviting you, some of you, to come up here to say a word.
Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a sad day, and in Islam, all Muslims must say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This one means, indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed, to Him, we will return. Olwaleero naddala famire lunaku lwa kiyongobero. Tewali ssanyu ku mitima gyabwe kubanga tuviiriddwako omwagalwa waffe. Mu Qur'ani ekitiibwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yatugamba kullu nafsin dhaikatul maut wa innama tawaffawna ujurakum yawmal qiyamah. Qur'ani ekitiibwa. Buli muntu yenna, buli kyonna ekissa kijja kutuukibwako okufa. Kullu nafsin dhaikatul maut. Buli muntu yenna ajja kufa. Wa innama tawaffawna ujurakum yawmal qiyamah. Byonna byokoze wano ku nsi ojja bibalibwako ku lunaku Mukama Katonda lwali tuzukusa oba lwe tutuuka mu maaso ga Mukama Katonda. N'olwekyo nze nyimiridde wano okuyitaayita mu bulamu obw'ensi eno bwe tubeeramu. Muganda waffe Hassan nga bwe muwulidde, musajja yatwala obuvunaanyizibwa n'abeera e Uganda n'asoma, n'agenda ng'ayita mu masomero ag'enjawulo, n'avaayo n'agenda emitala w'amayanja n'asoma, n'amala okusoma naye teeberezaamu omusajja nga nze ava eri e Butambala eyakulira ku miwogo, eyakulira ku Katadooba nga ke nalinda bisa mu nnyumba nenvaayo nentuuka e Sweden. Naawe weekubemu ekifaananyi buli muntu gy'ova n'otuuka wano n'obeera mu bulamu bw'olimu obw'eddembe, Mukama Katonda n'akuwa buli kimu naye n'otasobola kumanya Mukama Katonda. Kyekyo kyakugamba wano nti bw'onootuuka okufa byonna bye wakola Mukama Katonda ajja kubikulaga oluvannyuma. Ku lwaffe ng'Abasiraamu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yatugamba tunoonye okuyiga, tunoonye education, tumanye okuviira ddala. Ndowooza abasinga obungi engozi mugimanyi. Noonya okumanya okuva ku mubiri gwa maama wo okutuukira ddala mu mwana Adaani. Hassan tumutaddeyo olwaleero era tulina bye tumuyigirizzaawo nga tumuteekayo. Yanoonya okuyiga kwonna naye era ne bwe tubadde tumuteekayo wansi awo ne bwe tubadde tumunaaza tulina bye tumuyigirizzaawo. Kyekyo Mukama Katonda kyatugamba. Mu kuyiga okwo nammwe kyenjagala okubakuutira nti muyige, munoonye okumanya. Okumanya tekujja kukoma ku kumanya bumanyi by'amagezi ga nsi, naye n'eddiini yo. Omuntu bw'amala okufa talina kyasigaza okuggyako ekyo kye yakolerera, nga bwe mbagambye nti Mukama Katonda ajja kukubuuza byonna bye wakola. N'olwekyo olina okunoonya okumanya ku ebyo byonna by'oyisemu mu nsi. Abasiraamu tulina okubeera nga tuyiga eddiini yaffe nga bw'etambula, tuleme kwesuulirayo gwa nagamba. Bangi ku Basiraamu abatuula wano bannaddala Bannayuganda bwe tubadde tugezaako okubikira Hassani nga bagamba Hassani yaluwa oyo, kubanga abadde tatambulira nnyo mu society y'Abasiraamu olw'ensonga nti yamanyi kye yasalawo okubeera nti tatambulidde nnyo mu Basiraamu, naye nga kyalibadde kirungi okubeera nga amanya nti Abasiraamu weebali era n'eddiini ye ng'agitwala mu maaso, olw'okubeera nti nno nga yeetegekera. Ffenna abali wano mu nsi tulina okwetegekera wa gye tulaga, nga bwe batugamba nti okufa buli muntu yenna waakufa, era bw'anaafa ajja kubeera ng'alina byabuuzibwa ne bwe kaba katono katya. Kale n'olwekyo tugezeeko okulaba nga tutuukiriza bye tulina okukola. Abasiraamu nja kwekubira nnyo ku basiraamu nti bw'obanga oli musiraamu olina okutuukiriza empagi z'obusiraamu, empagi 5. Ekisookerwako empagi ezo ez'obusiraamu olina okukkiriza Mukama Katonda mu mutima gwo n'okwatuza n'olulimi lwo ti Mukama Katonda waali era akulaba era akola ebyo byonna by'okola abimanyi. Olina okusaala eswala 5 kubanga Mukama Katonda yatugamba nti nakola abantu si lwa kirala kyonna wabula lwa kunsinza. N'olwekyo okusaala eswala 5 oba osinza Mukama Katonda. Kati mba mbakubiriza nti mulina okukikola. Mu mwaka omuntu olina okusiiba ennaku 30 kye tuyita omwezi gwa Ramadhaani. Toyinza kulowooza nti olw'okuba wajja mu Sweden ebyokusiiba tebikyakukwatako, naye nga manya nti nno bwe tunaakuteekayo olwaleero nga bwe tutaddeyo muganda waffe bajja kubaako kye bakubuuza. Ekyo kyo weekiri. N'olwekyo olina okusiiba buli mwaka ennaku 30 tetuyita omwezi gwa Ramadhaani. Ekyokuna, mu ssente z'ofuna omwaka mulamba ku buli 100 olina okutoolamu ennusu 2.5. Buli nnusu 100 toolako ennusu 2.5 oziweeyo, gye tuyita zaka. Ekintu ekyo olabanga ekitono oba ekinene ennyo, naye ekitono siringi 2.5 ku buli 100 n'ozikuŋŋaanya n'oziwaayo ziyambeko ku munaku atalina buyambi. Ekyo tteeka lya Mukama Katonda nga ffe Abasiraamu ye yalitulagira, era bw'oba tokikoze omwaka ne gukuyitako oba totuukiriza mpagi ya Busiraamu. N'ekisembayo kwe kulamaga okugenda e Makka. Buli Musiraamu yenna abeerawo nga mulamu ateekwa buteekwa nga afunye ssente ezimutwalayo okulamaga okugenda e Makka mu bulamu obwo omulundi ogwo gumu. Ebyo bye bikufuula Omusiraamu era gye gimu ku mirimu gye weetegekera okugenda ewa Mukama wo. Ebyo bwe tobikoze, ffe ababa basigaddewo tukeera ku makya ng'olwaleero bwe tugambye Mukama wange Hassan Kabuye wuuno tumuleese. Bw'aba yakola birungi naye agambye omusajja wuuno Mukama waffe ffe tumukuleetedde. Bw'aba yakola birungi musonyiwe, bw'aba yakola birungi buuyo birungi, naye bw'aba yakola bibi wuuyo ffe tumuleese kiri gy'ali. Kaakati awo Mukama Katonda yamanyi bw'anaamulamula, naye nze olwaleero neewuunyiza nnyo era ngambye enseene tutawaanyiza ki? Musajja omunene, omusajja ow'amaanyi, bode yonna naye okumukwa tubadde ne muganda wange ono naye nga nomukolo tukwata mukwata okumunaaza omuntu eyali yenaaza neyekuuta ne mugongo bannange tuseeka okwekubamu mu kifuba ne tugamba bannange waliwo ebintu ebimu bye tukola kino nkola kyaki ndagawa jjukira kullu nafsin dhaikatul maut wa innama yatawaffuna ujurakum yauma alqiyama buli kyokola kyonna mukama katonda ffe mu Qur'ani bw'atugamba kamunyeera kasembayo obutono naye akawulira eddoboozi lyako nga katambula mukama katonda atugamba faman ya'mal miskala dharratin sharran yara man ya'mal miskala dharratin khayran yara mu Qur'ani ekitiibwa ne bw'okola katono akenkananga empeke y'akalo ojja kasasulira ne bw'okola akabi akalungi ennyo akenkana ne bwe kaba kabi nga kenkana katonda ogenda kukalaba ate era ogenda kukasasulira kale n'olwekyo lunaku nno si lulungi nnyo tuteekwa bannange nze siri mubuulizi w'amaanyi nnyo naye ekitonotono ebyo bye njagadde okubajjirayo okwo mbabuulire ebikwatako ku lunaku luno omuntu abaana abalinamu kyategeddemu akitwale naye nga mu byonna abaana baffe abo nja kubasaba nga ffe ba Ugandan community okubeera nga tubayambako babeere nga batambula mu nsi nga balina omukululo gwe basobola okuyitamu tuleme kubaleka bagende. Sheekh atugambye wano bw'obanga oli musiraamu okunywa omwenge si kirungi era tekikkirizibwa. Okukumpanya emmaali ya munno si kirungi mu busiraamu ate ne mu ddiini endala zonna. Okumpanya ogenda kufuna ki? Dakiika emu tujja kuziika. Mukama Katonda agamba mu Qur'ani naddala abasajja abasinga okukumpanya almaalu walbanuun zinatul hayati dunia. Essente n'abaana bintu byakwewunda kwa ku nsi. Abantu abasinga obungi baga nti kankole ssente, bamala okukola essente nfune n'abaana bangi nnyo, nzaale mu mukyalo oli, nzaale mu oli, nzaale mu oli, naye byonna bwewunda bwewunzi ku nsi, tewaliwo kyekigenda kukuyamba. Baganda bange, ebigambo bingi, kitalo nnyo, kitalo ddala. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Tusaba Mukama Katonda muganda waffe amulamuze kisa, Allah forgive Dr. Hassan KABUYE and elevate him his station among those who are guided. Send him along the path of those who came before, and forgive us and him, O Lord of the world. Enlarge for him his grave and shed light upon him. Insha'Allah ta'ala. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thanks very much, Mr. Nasser Luyongi. We are running a bit late, and there are quite a few people who will be speaking this evening. However, in those in Uganda, we've got a 2-hour time difference, so we're going to change the program slightly so that the person who was supposed to talk maybe two people after is going to speak now, because in Uganda it's getting rather late. So we are going to get one person on Zoom who is the brother to the late Dr. Hassan KABUYE. He's called Mr. Sula Ruyombo. He's going to talk to us over Zoom. So, Mr. Gates, do the magic.
Netwebaza nnyo nammwe abasobodde okubeera nti mutubeererawo mu mbeera etali emu. Kitabadde kya lunaku lumu, kya ssaawa emu, kya mwezi gumu. Allah abasasule mu sserra era abaddizeewo. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Amannya bampita Sebanakita HASSAN. Ng'era njagala okutwala akaseera kaneemu nga ntuusa okukungubagwa kwange eri kitaffe era nga tunyoleddwa nnyo olw'okufiirwako kitaffe ate nga famire entono ya lubatu era tusaba ya Allah jalla wala w'ekitiibwa amusonyiwe byamusobako amusaasenge omuyingiza kabuli
olwakitaffe ono yatugenzeeko kusaba Mungu amulamuze ekisa. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Mali meta kitalo okuba Hassan ye muntu gwe tutajja kuzzaawo ogwo tasuubira kuzzaawo naye Allah yasinga okumanya kuba tagera kibi okugera kuba kukwe na buli kimu kyonna naye akkirize era mulamuze kisa ebigambo ebisinga ku ebyo si bingi aliwayo okugera salo nnyo bannange salo bannange manya nti Walyembo Sulaiti muto w'omugenzi naye nga tubadde baalubato era tuli baalubato ne Allah kyabaagizi toyinza gaana kuba naye ayunja mu lusuku lw'ebisinga okuba ebirungi naye tayagala kibi kisinga okuba ekikulu naye Allah tugumye era tugumiza wamu n'abalala mwonna kungubazi bannaffe era mubale nnyo mubalire ddala Jalla wala w'ekitiibwa asaasire era abagaziirize abasasula mu musera buli kimu kye musobodde okubeera nti mukola kola ogw'ekitiibwa.
Naye kitalo nnyo nyoleddwa nnyo era tusaaliddwa nnyo lwa mulamu wange era tusigadde mu nnaku y'amaanyi nnyo naye katusabe abaana baffe Mukama abagumye awamu ne muganda wange bonna gye bali eyo Mukama abagumye tewali kyakukola Mukama yatuweera yajjako era mulamuze ekisa musonyiwe byamusobako amiina.
So kitalo nnyo bano tusagalidde omujjukirira
Understood Uganda, yeah, so that this from Kamocha, Uganda, Kampala. Now, there is also a speech from the sister of Hassan KABUYE, so that we finish the Uganda part of it, because it's quite late right now. It's a 2-hour difference, and some of these people, they want to travel. So this is going to be quick. After that, it will be Irene's church, and then the manager, former manager of the late. So, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Twaveri Mukama Katonda era gye tulina okudda. Balamusiza nnyo Mukama bwe beeyisa. Yalinga yeeyisango omuntu yennyini ow'obuvunaanyizibwa. Amangu ddala Kabuye bwe yatandika okukola, yatandika okutuyambanga ng'atulabirira, ng'asindika ssente ng'ennyinza n'ezijjayo n'etwalira bazadde baffe. Ebbanga lyonna taata ennyumba obutalo bwe babisuula, Kabuye yasindika ssente ne tuzimba ennyumba ya taata. Bannange, Kabuye bingi nnyo bye nnyinza omwogerako, naye ndi mukosefu. Naye Kabuye ye muntu atazikawo mu nsi muno. Kabuye yali wanjawulo nnyo. Alabiridde bakadde baffe paka Mukama lwe yabajjuula, ate naffe abadde atulabirira paka mu Desemba awo nayogera naye n'aŋŋamba nti amangu ddala nja kujja eyo. Naye Mukama Katonda n'atakkiriza. Bwe yamala n'atutegeeza nti agenda kuwasa, amangu ddala ng'awasizza, atusindikira obutabo bw'ebifaananyi, n'atusindikira byonna bwe bafaanana. Naffe ne taata n'asanyuka nnyo, ne maama n'asanyuka nnyo, ffenna ne tusanyuka. Mukama n'atandika bambi n'abawa ezzadde, n'abawa abaana baabwe. Bannange, mulaba nsirikira naye by'okwogera Kabuye bingi, naye ndi mukosefukosefu, nsobola bimalayo. Ate buli lwe njogera Kabuye mpulira amaziga, buli lwe njogera Kabuye mpulira bubi. Naye Mukama Katonda ye yasalawo, alhamdulillahi rabbil aalamiina. Saba Allah ow'ekitiibwa amusasule ebirungi byonna bye yakolerera, amuwe ekiwummulo eky'emirembe, amugazirize Kabuye, amuteeremu ekitangaala, ate era amulamuze ekisa, amuwe Jannah Firdausi. Bannange, nze abadde ayogera nze mukulu we Aisa Namukasa Nabunya. Salaamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Saba Allah ow'ekitiibwa abankuumire byonna.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Gids, for making the magic work. So we've been listening to Uganda. That was the elder sister of Hassan KABUYE, for those of you who do not understand Uganda. So that was very good. Now, we had to take Uganda, but the next who was supposed to have talked is...
When we have a sorrowful time for our brother, the dad, and a friend. My name is Anyas Sengova Joel, the head of Laity, and I'm the Juliet McCaff, who's the assistant. And Irene is one of our pillars in our Okusinza mu Luganda, Sweden. Njagala okutuusa okusasira kwaffe eri famire y'aba Kabuye. Njagala okutuusa okusasira kwange eri abasiraamu bonna. Njagala okutuusa okusasira kwange eri bannayuganda abaava e Russia. Njagala nze nina okwenyumiriza mu bannayuganda abaava e Russia nti omuntu bw'agamba nti ffe twava Russia is class. naye baweddewo ekyo mukikkiriza naye ffe baleseewo ki kye tuli tusigazzaawo batono kubanga bwe baabe omuntu omunauganda yenna bwe yagambanga nti ffe twava Russia nga kitegeeza empisa enneeyisa okusoma. To the family obwedda bagamba Dr. Kabuye tabadde musawo muganda. Abaana, the daddy has left a legacy. It's your responsibility to keep up the legacy. Ebyo by'okusileyinga n'okweraga tebijja kukola wabula okuggyako nga taata wammwe mukoze kye yakolanga. Sometimes I don't have some good words for the youth because I want you to be to keep the legacy your parents have left. You are lucky you had a dad who was presentable, who was educated. Kati mujja gamba nti munnange ekiŋŋaana okusoma kubanga waffe basiru. Your dad bw'abeera yasobola okusoma, that means namwe musobola, but you are still young. Abazadde babagambye bo mwami Lyombe yadde abagamba nti basomeranga ku butadooba. But you have got everything you need in Sweden. What excuse can you have? That I didn't go to school, I didn't get educated because of this and that. So one thing I just want to request the children, let us keep the legacy. Nze njagala nnyo omwana enkya tukusange tukubuuze nti ate gwani nti tomanyi bwe tubeera twogera ku so and so nga erinnya lyo erivuga nga era ddadiwo terikyavuga ogambire taata wange yali Dr. Kabuye nga naawe ate oyiseewo. Omanyi waliwo abantu abaleka passmark waabuukiranga waggulu nnyo naye ebyo byonna byonna mubisobola bw'aba taata wammwe yabisobola okubikola mu bugubi bonna bonna. Omanyi coming to Europe is not as easy as walking from Denmark to Sweden. Ffe abava mu Africa tuva wala. Osooka n'omala okuyita, osooka n'omala okuveeka n'ogenda Entebbe ku kisaawe n'olinnya ennyonyi Mediterranean simmanye ennyonyi bwe yeebonga nga eringa etayagala tujje mu Europe and we reach. But God blessed you, you are born here, you have everything. Which reason can you give? Kati kanzire ku booluganda abasiraamu. Nze neddira mbogo. Ate obulamu bwange obusinga nabumala Linkibbe. Ng'abasiraamu b'e Linkibbe Abasomaliya bampita ku Yidi. Ne tugamba enough is enough, tetugenda kuddamu genda ku Yidi z'Abasomaliya. Ne tutandika vaisi waffe mwami bamuyita Zakariya Sentamu. Tugamba Zakariya ng'etteeka buli Yidi olina okutuyita. Abasiraamu Abanayuganda, abaana bano abato be mulaba wano beetaaga okubayitako ewammwe buli lwe beera n'emikolo. Buli Yidi abaana mubayite. Abaana bali mu Europe. Omwana mwali mulabyeko omwana w'Omusomaliya nga ava mu busiraamu bwe. Kubanga abazadde bafaayo. Naffe bannanga abazadde. Nze bwe nali nakajja Sweden abantu be neegomba nga baali so organized. Naye kati mugamba ebyana tetujja bisobola. Mbeegayiridde abaana bano mubaagale. Musigale nga mubakuŋŋaanya. Ate laavu si yakubasanga mu kkubo n'obagamba gwe. Bw'omusangayo ng'olinamu ekkoloni 10 bataata mubawe gundi Swiss numbers. Bagenda kutandika okubalabirira. Irene nga tannabakola mulimu gwonna. The dads are here. Ate ekintu Katonda kye yawa Abasiraamu maali. Walolabeyo Omusiraamu omwavu. Katonda ekyo yakibawa. Kati n'abaana muba blessing n'obwo obugagga tugende mu maaso bwe tutyo. Nga mmaliriza njagala okwebaza Irene olwa okwagala abaana be. Ekintu kyokka ky'osobola okusasula Mwami Kabuye kwagala abaana abo. To the children, nga omuzadde amaze okuvaawo ekigintu ekigenda okubakuuma nga muli kitole is the unity. Musigale nga mukyali bumu, muwanirire mami wammwe buli lwa breaking down nga weemuli, buli kyasaba nga mumuwa. Uganda abantu omanye ebibuuzo ebanyumya, taata waffe bw'alifa, mama waffe, ebibuuzo ebanyumya. But we are in Europe. Why should you start planning for your mommy's death, simanyi your daddy's death? Tandika planningira maama wo. Bw'omulaba anakuwadde omugana naye mami bwe nnaamala okusoma nja okugulira Volvo, maama njagala ove mu eyo enju nkugulire villa, abadde atandise okubeera ng'akaddiwa kaddiwa mugenda okulaba ng'atandise okudda obutebe bamubuuza banaye lina ennaku zino ki. Obeera tonaba nakuleeta mboozi y'abaana ng'agireeta because she is proud of you. Naye batandika okubuuza omukulu bamuyitaani anji Calvin yaliwa. Ohulira otya kati bw'obeera wakoze fujje eringi bwe batandika okubuuza kibannaye Calvin aliwa. Omuzadde omutima gutandika okuba oba kati mbagambe kibannaye kwegamba be proud. Omuzadde atandika okubuuza ibannaye nga gwe tombuuza ku bya Calvin. Ogenda okulaba omuzadde bw'abeera proud eri omwana yatandika muba mukyanyumya bannange ng'ennaku zino omuzira mungi ng'atandika kuleeta bya mwana because she is proud of you. Mwami Kabuye yagenze, he'll be no more. Naye eriyo amadini gaffe gonna ge tusoma bagamba nti bw'amalo naye tuleseewo ki nga maliriza kino kikwata ku bannayuganda bannaffe bane tubasaasira okuva January tebadde byangu bannaye mu bannayuganda nga tufiiriddwa twali tugenda tutegeka kuziika mwami Kabuye ate mwami Muleera naye naafa. Ate twali tukyali mu bya programu ya mwami Kabuye ne bagamba omukyala Betty nti naye afudde. Byonna byonna bibadde mu myezi mu January muno February. N'ebyo namu byonna tubeere tugume tumanye nti nno wadde abo bagenze buli agenze omunayuganda omwaka guno gw'oliwo gwasigaddewo kikyokoze. Abasinga abagenze omwaka guno babadde bantu basirifu. Mwala wange lumu baatugamba nti nno bw'obeera ogenda okusaba enju olina okutwala omwana ne yeesansabaga. Naye ngenda muwala omanyi njagala ogende weesansabage. Nangamba nti nze bannaye dadi byonna nja bikola naye nze ebintu by'okukaaba nze ebyo sibisobola. Basiraamu bannaye mwami Kabuye mwadde tabisobola naye abadde alina byasobola. He has been ekifaananyi ekirungi eri obusiraamu. How do you feel nga bagamba mu basiraamu tulinayo Dr. Kabuye? Ebyo byabadde asobola twongerezeeko tubyongere mu maaso. Tumanyi nti Mukama mwesigwa ajja kwongera mu maaso ekisinga obulungi. Mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala. Nyongera okwebaza Irene olw'okwagala ekkanisa yo. Nti togwa mu maanyi ffe tugenda kuyimirira nawe mu ngeri yonna. Bw'aba mwami Kabuye teyagaana kujja mu kkanisa ate n'ayimiriranga naawe n'agamba nti buli kimu n'obeera ng'okikola togwa mu maanyi. Nti byonna byonna nga biweddewo Katonda wo tomwerabira. Ensi yonna yonna bw'ebeera nga ekoze etya ekisembayo kye njagala okukubuulira kasita omuntu akutuka bwe pa ensi eyogera. Naye ebigambo tebikuyigula ttama. Byonna byonna njagala bikuyite bubisi bukunkoona bwe biti osigale ng'oyimiridde. Titwagala tukusange bwe tuti ng'empewo ekufuuwa bwe tubuuza Irene kyekyagwa. Munnaaye ate gundi yayogera. Abo aboogera let them talk ne be focused. Ensi ereme ekigambo kireme okukulebya to live the next day n'okugaana okukwata ekifi ky'ennyama ekiri mu sowaani okukirya. Nebeera mugumu mu byonna. Mukama abeere nammwe.
Thanks very much, Church. Now, yeah. to have his immediate manager at his last place of work, Mr. Joachim Litzen. You are welcome, Mr. Joachim.
Jag är väldigt hedrad och också få lära känna Hassan lite, eller mycket mer än vad jag har gjort tidigare. Jag känner Hassan sedan 3 år tillbaka när jag började jobba som chef i Botkyrka kommun. Då jobbade Hassan där. Sen har jag faktiskt träffat honom förut. Han jobbade i Haninge kommun under några år. Hassan jobbar ju med de mest utsatta barnen. De barnen som inte kan bo hemma hos sina föräldrar av olika anledningar. Och det kan, för Hassan, för mig var han både som en anställd, som en medarbetare men också en vän under de åren som jag lärde känna honom. Som anställd och som socialarbetare så är han för mig, eller det arvet som jag tar med mig från honom, han kunde liksom mixa både det här juridiska, han var otroligt duktig på det rättsliga i vårt jobb, och det är ganska mycket. Man kunde kombinera det jobbet och den delen av jobbet med hjärtat. Han hade hjärtat på rätt ställe för att jobba med de här barnen. Och med också den vuxna. Han var otroligt duktig på att ta hand om alltså de föräldrarna som har tvingats eller valt att lämna bort sina barn mår ju förstås väldigt, väldigt dåligt av olika anledningar. Och vårt jobb handlar ju mycket om att skapa en kontakt med de föräldrarna. För att skapa ändå en kontakt mellan biologiska barnet och den biologiska föräldern. Det är otroligt viktigt i vårt jobb. Och Hassan hade förmågan att möta även de svåraste personerna, och möta med aggressiva, bråkiga, psykisk ohälsa, deprimerade. Men med sitt sätt och sitt lugn så kunde han möta de människorna och få till ett bra möte. Både för den vuxna men framförallt att skapa en bra kontakt med barnen. Och också som medarbetare var han fantastiskt rolig att ha i en arbetsgrupp. Han var otroligt omtyckt, otroligt älskad och också nu otroligt saknad på vårt jobb. Jag har ju också haft faktiskt förmånen att efter han gick bort här ringa till alla de barnen och alla de familjehem som det är där barnen bor, och berätta att Hassan har gått bort. Så jag har ju fått med mig många berättelser och bilder och tyckanden om Hassan, om hur han var som person. Och det jag har fått med mig är ju lite det jag berättar om också. En väldigt varm människa, en väldigt närvarande människa, men också väldigt kompetent person. Man kunde lita på Hassan. Det han sa stämde. Alltså, så det känns bra att kunna ge er tillbaka liksom den berättelsen om hans professionella liv som jag känner då. Så ja, för mig, för mina kollegor i Botkyrka, så vill jag bara säga att han är djupt saknad. Och det vi tar med oss är det här kombinationen mellan att vara professionell men också ha ett stort och varmt hjärta för barnen. Och sen är också, han är den enda som hade kostym på jobbet också, så det kommer vi sakna. Tack så mycket. Tack.
Tack, Joachim Litzen. Thanks a lot, Mr. Joachim Litzen, for those warm words about Hassan at his workplace. It's really a life at the workplace to emulate, where you have such acceptance from both your colleagues and your customers, and not only acceptance, but that you work in such a way that you leave an indelible mark in their lives. He will be missed, as you've just heard. Now, Mr. Seruvu, are we on track with the... Maybe you can guide us to the Kabakas.
It is really nice to see you here. Thank you for keeping the norm from our country, from our continent, that wherever we hear an alarm, mainly this solar alarm, you come forward. Thank you so much. Today it was a working day. Some of you've been there at the burial place, the cemetery. Early in the morning you were there. So thank you very much. The family, our condolences. I'm here to introduce, you know that in our community, we have many authorities or organizations, one can say, but this one is not an organization. But for you who follow what is taking place in our community, we have a representative from the King of Buganda, and the late, this foreign gentleman, being a man from the Engeye clan. He belongs to Buganda and Omuganda. So in this Scandinavia, we have a representation from the Kingdom of Buganda. Owekitiibwa Nelson Mugenyi is not here with us, but he has sent a message through his assistant, Omukungu Jane Waswa Malkson, whom I would like to call upon now to come and share with us what is coming from the King's representation. Omukungu Jane Waswa Malkson to console us.
I'm sorry, I'm going to read everything in Luganda as I'm coming in from the Buganda Kingdom. Amanya gange nze Jane Nanyonga Marikson nga bwe muwulidde ategeka olukiiko bwagambye nti nze addirira omukungu wa Ssaabasajja Kabaka. Ntumiddwa obubaka buno okusaasira ab'ennyumba, abaana, naddala abaana, kubanga ffenna tukimanyi bwe tufiirwa omuzadde abasinga okukosebwa be baana. Bagenda okukula nga tebamanyi nti taata atwagala bw'ati, ayinza otugulira kino. Kale tubateeke mu ssaala Allah abakulembere bategeere ekyokukola. Nsaba okubatuusaako obubaka buno obuvudde Owekitiibwa Nelson Mugenyi, omubaka wa Ssaabasajja Kabaka mu Scandinavia ne mu Netherland. Asaaliddwa nnyo tasobodde kubeera nammwe, naye mu mutima akungubaze nammwe. Obubaka bwe buno obumpeereddwa bubatuuseeko mu kulumwa okw'amaanyi kw'alina. Office of Kabaka's representative in Scandinavia. Obubaka mu kufiirwa okuwerekera n'okujjukira omugenzi Dr. HASSAN KABUYE. Bannaffe mwenna abakuŋŋaanye n'okwerekera omugenzi Dr. HASSAN KABUYE era n'abo abali ku mutimbagano kitalo nnyo nnyo ddala. Olw'okufa kwa munnaffe ono tufiiriddwa nnyo. Omugenzi wano mu Sweden aluddewo era nga yajja mu myaka gya 80. Yabeerako e Westeros n'abeerako e Bungereza, naye nga ebbanga lye erisinze alimaze wano mu Stockholm. Wetumumanyidde ennyo n'okutuusa kati waafiiridde. Omugenzi okulwala kwe kwali kwakabanga katono ddala, era okufa kwe amangu bw'atyo kwatukuba entiisa. Ffenna mu kitundu tufiiriddwa nnyo. Nga omubaka wa Ssaabasajja mu Scandinavia ne Netherland n'omumyuka wange omukungu Jane Nanyonga Marikson wamu n'olukiiko lw'omubaka lwakulembera okuli omukungu Rose Mayanja, omukungu Lamechi Kabega, omwami Marvin Kagimu, omukyala Joyce Kasolo, omukyala Olivia Nancha Munagwe mumanyi wano, omwami Beka Kabugo simanyi oba waali, n'omwami Paulo Semambo, n'abantu bonna abakkiririza mu Bwakabaka bwa Buganda, n'emikwano gyaffe abawangalira mu Scandinavia ne Netherland. Tulabye nnyo okuviibwako munnaffe ono. Tusaasira nnyo abaana Lily Moore, Calvin, Adam ne Keisha, I think mubamanyi mwenna. Okufiirwa taata waabwe omwagalwa. Tubakwasa Allah mu kiseera kino ekizibu ennyo gye bali abagumye. Omukyala Gertrude Kabuye nga ffenna wano tukimanyi bulungi. Nga ffenna tukimanyi bulungi era nga atubeerera nga tumumanyi bulungi bwe kyandibadde nga tumumanyi bulungi era nga atubeererawo nnyo. Nnyabo nkusaasidde nnyo era Mukama akugumye. Baganda b'omugenzi, ab'eŋŋanda, ab'emikwano, kitalo nnyo ddala era tubasaasidde nnyo. Tujjukire Dr. Hassan Kabuye era twebaze Allah olw'obulamu na byonna Allah byamutuusizzaako okukola. Tujjukire essanyu n'omukwano byatuwadde mu bulamu bwe. Wummula mirembe Dr. Hassan Kabuye. Gutusinze nnyo Ayi Ssaabasajja. Twakuuma bubi. Oweekitiibwa Nelson Mugenyi, omubaka wa Ssaabasajja Kabaka mu Scandinavia ne Netherland. Those who didn't understand the language, those who are sitting near the person who didn't understand can elaborate everything if really, so that they can come in the system what we have been, the message it was about. Thank you. Mwebale nnyo basebo, mwebale ddala. Mukama amuwummuze emirembe, amusonyiwe byonna ebyamusobako.
Tweyanza omukungu Jenny Nanyonga Maxon olw'obubaka obwo bwatuusizaako. Thank you so much. The assistant representative of the Kingdom of Buganda in Scandinavia, Netherlands. Mr. Pawusule, please.
Thank you, my colleague, Mr. Seruvu.
So we hope you'll be back.
Good evening, everybody here. We are very sorry, all of us. We lost a dear friend, our husband, a father, a colleague. I just want to say a few words about Dr. Kabuye. I met Dr. Kabuye in Westeros when I was living in Shelping in the African Club. He was a very active member of the African Club. He was very interested in helping Africans in this country and guiding them, getting them jobs and everything. But at that time, I knew him as an acquaintance, somebody you just see at the club. But then, when I moved to Stockholm in 2004, it happened that I moved to his place because he was moving to England to work there. And that's when we became a family. I met my sister there. Irene. Some of you call her Gertrude, but she actually became my daughter. We lived together as a family, and 2 of her children were born when I was with her. Calvin was very young, I think he was 1 year in the carriage, but Keisha, I think I'm the one who took you to the hospital to give birth to Keisha, and then Adam. So we are a family, and we have been very close, and even when these people got married, I was the matron to Irene. So I'm very sad and very touched about the death of Dr. KABUYE. He used to come once or twice a month when he was working in England, and we became a real family. He was very glad that I was here, and my mom was here too, and they were very good friends. They used to talk. She used to call him HASSAN. She couldn't pronounce his name, but those are the few things I want to talk about HASSAN. He was a very good father to my children. They haven't yet come. Some of them are still in school, but that's how we were. We were a family, and we are still a family. So I'm very, very sorry and touched that he passed on. Those are my few words. Thank you.
Go through this, asking us from Uganda. Banage mwina abooluganda bayita baluganda kuba ffenna tuli family. Wadde sibeera wano, when London couldn't make it, they sent me to say a big thank you to everybody. Bannaye mwebale nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala, mwebale nnyo okubeererawo. God bless you all. And I want to continue thanking the leaders, church leaders, the Muslim leaders. Thank you so much for the part you've played today. And thank you so much for being here, for being there for the kids. So I'm going to give a chance to our kids to say a few words. Bakulu bannaffe, nsaba njogere mu nnimi bbiri, erakussa Oluganda n'Oluzungu. Okusingira ddala nsooka okwebaza Mukama Katonda asobozezza okuŋŋaana wamu, bwe tukuŋŋaana wamu bwe bumu. Ekyokubiri, mbeebaza okutubeererawo mu buli mbeera. Mwebale buli muntu yenna buli mu kiti kye kyonna contribution gy'otaddeko mu process eno yonna mpaka nga tuli wamu. Ensonga eyokusatu, siri nnyo muntu ayogera ennyo naye ngenda kwekaka ogezaako okwogera. Waawo ngezaako ofuna obuvumu batunula mu maaso okwogera, naye kyonna kyekiri kijja kuba. Ensonga yange, tufiiriddwako kitaffe, mukwano gwaffe, mukwano gw'abangi, omwagalo w'abangi, omwami omuntu mulamu, omutafaayo obaani oba banaamulaba batya, naye nga watyo ate basomi, wabula ate n'entanda ngenda gissa eri bato wange nti musomi, ngenda kubakuutira nammwe mube bwemu. ku sayidi endala buli omu mwebaza mu buli kiti kye, mwebale kwerekereza. Abamu tubabikira, abamu bagaana, abamu ne kikyali, era buli muntu ali wano kyekitiibwa kyemussaamu. Nyinza okuba mwenna sibamanyi mu biti byammwe, naye mbawa ekitiibwa nga kitaffe kyembadde muwa, era mbasaba mukuume, mugende mu maaso n'ogw'omutima. So, to KABUYE and Adam, all that I'm expecting from you is to leave, see. You guys know how much I love you. You could like tell. I can't like just say everything, but like, you see like, he's been there, he's seen it all. So, he's finished his journey. But like, all I'm expecting from you guys is like, to leave, see. I'm a self. Guys, these wishes got like each and everything, but like, we shall make it. Feel like it has that much there. You guys, like, I know like I'm not gonna be there like every time like to be there with you, but every time like you need a hand, you just ring me. I'll be there. And my name's Aisha Kiski. Thank you so much.
HASSAN KABUYE. Jag vill tacka er först för att ni alla har kommit. Tack så mycket för att ni har visat oss kärlek. Vad ska jag säga? Pappa, han har alltid varit... han har varit hård, men han har varit snäll. Alltid sagt skolan hela tiden. Skolan ska inte gå först för alla. Tänk att skolan...
Jag tycker... jag kunde alltid prata med honom om allting utan att känna att han skulle döma mig min bästa vän. Och när jag förlorade jag mycket.
Fullständiga namn är Hope Calvin Damolira KABUYE, som jag fick från min pappa och mamma. Jag och min pappa var sämre. Senaste tiden gled vi lite ifrån varandra, men han var alltid där när jag behövde något. Och det är mycket som han gjorde för mig när det gällde han var där i alla fall för mig väldigt mycket, och dagarna han låg i sjukhuset så förväntade jag mig att han skulle återhämta sig. Men det kom en dag där man fick höra något annat. Men jag trodde fortfarande att han skulle komma tillbaka. Det sista...
Hello everybody, thank you for coming. My name is Michael Douglas Kanyike. Although I may not have the last name KABUYE, I still called Mr. Hassan KABUYE Dad. The reason being that and he showed me what a true father should be like. And what I took from him the most was the relationship he had with all of his children, including me. I'm speaking on behalf of my brother as well, as most of you have seen in the pictures. We all grew up in the household. You know, he kept up with our madness, but made sure that we were always happy, that we were always together. And Mom, one thing that you always told us is that we should stay together. We're always stronger, and I feel like whatever situation that, like, she's there for me. Adam may call me. We're always there for each other, and it's not because we've taught us these things, it's because our parents taught us these things. And that's one thing I can say that I can take, and when I get my kids, I hope to my life, because there's some stuff that I never had that he gave me, that money cannot bring. And I promise that I will always be there for my siblings. You know, we're not cousins, we're brothers. And I promise that I will always be there for you guys. And I know that you're always here for me. Thank you.
Thanks for giving me care. And nice to be so advice that was. I would like to thank Stockholm community for standing with me and my kids and the family. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for showing me that what I get is what I get. And this sad moment. Sisters, and that's what we chose when we met. He told me he'll never be that because he knew he never wanted to replace Hassan. So for him, these have been his brothers. We are his brothers, and my daughter is a sister. And I thank him, and I pray to God like he keeps us together and gives him a long life, so that my kids will have a father figure in the home. And I pray that nothing will come in between us, because in this time I'm facing, I need a partner, and he's a real partner I want to be with to raise my kids. I will thank my family, my sister here. You always there. We talk. Thank you for standing with me in happiness and everything. I now have people who know what I would have done. I've waited for everyone to get a visa number to tell them. And you being here with me means a lot. Thank you very much. And I'll thank Aisha. She's my daughter, but definitely my friend. Thank you for being and standing in for your siblings. Thank you very much. May God bless you. She has been here for 3 weeks from London, and everybody knows how holidays are. But she never cared. She has been here for over 3 weeks because she wanted us to feel safe. Thank you very much. May God bless you. I will thank the committee. We've had 2 committees for this funeral for Hassan. We had Team Hassan, we had a reception committee. I won't mention anybody, but they will be represented. But thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. This send-off, you've done. This is exactly how I dreamt it to be. Ever since Hassan passed, I wanted to give him and one another farewell that deserves him. And this one doesn't deserve him for what he has done in my life. But I think I've tried. I will thank my daughter Maple. You've seen her going around. My sister's daughter from Germany and the friends. Thank you for coming and standing with me. I know it's not easy, but just saying, Mommy, I'll be there no matter what, I will come. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Then I will start to talk about Hassan as I promised. Because for me, he was Hassan, nothing else. I will just give a brief. When Hassan met me, he used to call me a silly girl because I always said not whatever he said. Whatever he was offering, and he used to tell me, you silly girl, why don't you like anything somebody gives you? And then he told me, you just take, I don't have any demand on it. And him meeting me, he never judged me. Because so many people were wondering what I was doing with such a man and where he found me. Literally, Hassan called a phone call to somebody, somewhere I was staying. According to him, I had a nice voice. So he called next day to talk to the girl who had a nice voice. And he told me, tell me about Uganda, what are you doing, and this and this. I told him. Then we started talking. He said, I want to meet you. As he wanted to know about my life because he used to ask. And I was telling him, you want to know so much, what will you do then? Then I told him my story, then we went ahead. And let me say, like, he thinks I will make a good wife. And I was doubtful. He said, you don't no demands about being a good wife. You will learn to be a good wife. You will learn to like or to love. And I will teach you, we'll take this journey together. That's when we started, me and Hassan. And I remember the first thing he told me, I don't want so much. When you give me children, then I don't care whatever I do. And that I promise, he told me I will love our children, and he has done that. Him with the kids, he has been living for his life. Because Hassan, I will drive you. Then he puts all the kids in the car. And then we go 10 o'clock. And it was, when do you want to be picked? 5 o'clock. He puts again the kids in the car to come and pick me. And then told, one day you will get tired. And that's what we chose when we met. He told me he will never be that because he knew he never wanted to replace Hassan. So for him, these have been his brothers. We are his brothers, and my daughter is his sister. And I thank him, and I pray to God like he keeps us together and gives him a long life, so that my kids will have a father figure in the home. And I pray that nothing will come between us, because in this time I'm facing, I need a partner, and he's a real partner I want to be with to raise my kids. I will thank my family, my sister here. Here I sit there. We talk. Thank you for standing with me in happiness and everything. I now have people, I don't know what I've done. I've waited for everyone to get a visa and come, but they turned out. And you being here with me means a lot. Thank you very much. And I'll thank Aisha. She's my daughter, but definitely my friend. Thank you for being understanding here for your siblings. Thank you very much. May God bless you. She's been here for 3 weeks from London, and everybody knows how holidays are. But she never cared. She has been here for over 3 weeks because she wanted us to feel safe. Thank you very much. May God bless you. I will thank the committee. We've had 2 committees for this funeral for Hassan. We had a team Hassan, we had a reception committee. I won't mention anybody, but they will be represented. But thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. This send-off, you've done, this is exactly how I dreamt it to be. Ever since Hassan passed, I wanted to give him an honorable farewell that deserves him. And this one doesn't deserve him for what he has done in my life. But I think I've tried. I will thank my daughter Maple, you've seen her going around. My sister's daughter from German and the friends. Thank you for coming and standing with me. I know it's not easy, but just saying, Mommy, I'll be there no matter what, I will come. Thank you very much, may God bless you. Then I will start to talk about Hassan as I promised. Because for me, he was Hassan, nothing else. I would just give a brief. When Hassan met me, he used to call me the silly girl because I always said not whatever he said. Whatever he was offering, and he used to tell me, you silly girl, why don't you like anything somebody gives you? And then he told me, you just take, I don't have any demand on it. And him meeting me, he never judged me. Because so many people were wondering what I was doing with such a man and where he found me. Literally, Hassan called a phone call to somebody, somewhere I was staying. According to him, I had a nice voice. So he called next day to talk to the girl who had a nice voice. And he told me, tell me about Uganda, what are you doing, and this and this. I told him. Then we started talking. He said, I want to meet you. As he wanted to know about my life because he used to ask. And I was telling him, you want to know so much, what will you do then? Then I told him my story, and then we went ahead. And let me say, like, he thinks I could make a good wife. And I was doubtful. He said, you don't, no demands about being a good wife. You will learn to be a good wife. You will learn to like or to love. and I will teach you, we'll take this journey together. That's when we started, me and Hassan. And I remember the first thing he told me, I don't want so much. When you give me children, then I don't care whatever I do. And that I promise, he told me I will love our children, and he has done that. Him with the kids, he has been living for his life. Because Hassan, I will drive you. Then he puts all the kids in the car. And then we go 10 o'clock. Then he tells, when do you want to be picked? 5 o'clock. He puts again the kids in the car to come and pick me. And then till one day you will enter. What I'm trying to tell you, Hassan never judged me. He saw potential in me, even before I saw what I can do. And seeing me standing in the society and everything, my parents, and because my dad died when I was young, then I had to move to stay with Mami. Mami was so strong. Then she passed, then I had to move with my aunt. She's very strong, so sad she didn't make it. But most of all, you have to study. I thank him very much, because I remember when I used to get letters, even for migration bucket, he would bring 2 dictionaries to me, the Swedish one and the English one. And I was telling him, you're so selfish. How am I going to read this? And he was telling me, read what you understand, write it down, then ask me what you don't understand. And he used to tell me, how are you going to survive in this world without me? Sweden, you have to speak Swedish. And I think I will know what I say. I'm not always going to be with you. Actually, not knowing, like maybe we would divorce, but for him, he prepared me for this. He always told me, you have to be there for our kids, or you know what, or you not want to, or you extend it. How to go about in this society. But the thing he taught me, never to get a credit and not to pay it, because that would be the rules of my life in Sweden. So he told me to live a true life. And that one I thank him. Because of everything I do, I count and I go back to his words. I have a lot to talk about this man. Because he encourages me every time, not even when we're separated. This I won't take it, but I've never seen a man who marries a woman, and then you come to a point when you don't understand, or things don't depart, and then you can tell him, you know, I used to call him Mokwana, you know, I think I like other things in life and you like other things in life. I need to go separate ways. He just asked me, are you sure about this? I told him I know. Being him, like he like psychology and everything, then he took me to therapy to be sure not to regret for the whole year. Yes, then I went to therapy, and then he asked me again, Irene, are you sure you like this? I said yes. Then he asked me one thing, then we need to be cooperating in a good way. And then another thing he asked me, when you find another man to live with, you have to tell him about our kids and he has to treat them well. Those are the 2 things he told me about. And he has always been there, a good father, biological and not biological. Every child that comes in the house, Hassan has loved everyone. Even my small kids I have, they ask about Papa. Even when the pictures go, he babysitted them. That's how he has been. Very unselfish, this man. He doesn't care. As long as you're happy, he's happy. He doesn't interfere with anything. I want to thank him. I don't think I can even thank him a quarter, because all what I am is about him. He taught me how to live in this life. I met him when I was just 19 years. So he taught me life. Everything, it was about him, and it was about me and our family. So I have very few things. When I talk about religion with Hassan, men will ask me, why didn't you tell him to convert? Hassan has been a very free spirit. And I know people have been saying like he's not religious. Hassan has been religious, but a very wide one. He understands all the language, all the religions. That's why he never forced me to convert. He supported me for what I wanted. And I remember when I told him, you have to know my religion. That time we used to hear from CDs, and it was Bugembe, Pastor Bugembe, and this song about Mukama Njagala Kumanya. Then I told him, I'm introducing you also to my religion. This is when I started playing Mukama Njagala Kumanya. So Hassan used to play this song. He liked Bugembe. He's one who also told me, did you hear this? Did you hear this? He was religious, maybe not so many people knew. Maybe he was not coming in the mosque, you didn't see him. He was religious and he never separated in religions. He was just great in what he did. And I'll be Jades, if we are done, I'll ask for one song. This is not a sad song, it will be Congratulations by Ada Ehe. Hassan loved this song. These kids used to joke about it. So when we are done, you'll play this song because today I'm celebrating, we are celebrating Hassan's life. People might wonder why I'm so much dressed and nice. I would have dressed a lot. This man liked to buy nice things to me. He's the one who told me to be extravagant when it comes to wearing. He would go to London and come with cases, one for shoes, one for this and one for this. And I'll tell you, nothing, all of it was a designer clothes. He wanted me to be smart, and he wanted to be smart. And when I thought about how am I going to send him off, the first thing I thought, it has to be very beautiful. And then I have to be smart. Because this is the last, I don't know if it's the party or a wedding or whatever I'll call it. This is the last time I'm dressing very beautiful for him. Yeah, very much. I'll thank a lot of people, but first I have to go with Hassan. I have a tribute. Everybody knows I bake cakes. This came from Mom, but it was a talent which was stated because I saw Mom baking. Then when I met Mr. KABUYE, thank him. Though I moved on with my life, but he was my friend. He was a person who'd been co-parenting, a person who doesn't care about anything. So we were thinking of surprising him with a 65th birthday. Unfortunately, I won't bake that cake for him, but I baked 2 cakes for him in the memory of him, celebrating his life and thanking him. It was because of him encouraging me. So you'll be getting a nice cake, and some of them will be tasting extra, and it's a tribute to Mr. KABUYE for what he did. They don't do cakes on funerals. I think I'm the first person who did it, but this was a special one. I'm so saddened that Hassan passed. He never even celebrated any student of his age. Our son will be taking student in summer. And when I think about standing alone and telling them, thinking his dad is not here, it will be very sudden, but we'll go through. I have so many people besides me who support me. I have my husband, I have friends, I have family. So that will take. Hassan has been working for his kids. I think Calvin was telling him, Papa, I've succeeded. That one he had in football. But the thing is, Hassan never made it. All the man and everything, we fought for our son to play football. He never made it when Calvin started praying for Aiko or luck. He never even sat on the first bench to see him be proud for what he has done for him. He never did. Because he sacrificed a lot of money. So many people will think, let me go build houses in Uganda. Let me go do this. But Hassan never did. He said, we will pay for this. He will have this. He will have this. Hassan has been a typical parent who doesn't care, what do I own? Do I own a house in Uganda? As long as these kids are happy, he will pay. He never had a cost on his kids. But when we start tripping, everything, he just leaves me for me to eat and eat. Never celebrated anything. But I promise him, as he wanted our kids to be. Because I know that he's gone. He wants his kids to succeed in life. He wants his kids to be happy. I won't even try to step in his feet. But I will be your mom. And you know your mom is very strong. I don't think anything will change. I will never replace that. But I promise you will live and be happy. But I know that space I will never feel, but your dad will be proud. And you will never lack. I'll create a novel about Hassan, but I'll stop. Because if I start it will be bad. But I'm blessed. Kama yandi waka mafuta agoko agaliwan this day. I always am loved. I want to move serious. Oh my God. And you people stay here with the money and everything. But said as I'm coming for this, I'm grateful. Mweba ninyo mwebalire ddala. Olwa family ya mwami Kabuye eri Uganda. Mweba ninyo kunzikiriza nziike omwana wammwe muganda wammwe. Kuva ku nnaku lwe nabagamba. Ne mumbuuza ye yali ayagala ki? Ne mbagamba ye yagamba bwena omwana Keisha gyakimala era bw'oba ogambye. Tukusaba ekintu kimu ziika muganda waffe Museveni. Mwebale nnyo Allah akibabalire okuweereza n'ab'e Uganda. Tukkiriza kye bansaba kayimba aka congratulations. Njagala baleete keeki ya Hassan Sama yebeere wano. Okuba akayimba ako bakayita congratulations. And I'll stop crying. I will dance. Ayeebaze Katonda olw'obulamu bwa Hassan n'ekirabo kye yamuwa okubeera omusajja. Leave it to my billion. Njagala TV celebrate nga tubaze Katonda olw'obulamu bwa mwami Kabuye. Gaba kuba akayimba ke kasinga okwagala mu bulamu kabadde asinga nnyo okwagala. Asina mayinza nga tebannakakuba. Njagala kwebaza together for progress. But not here, Hassan is fair. But I will thank him too. He wasn't just a whip. Since I told him Hassan is sick, he has been calling us every day, checking on us. Thank you. I'll ask everybody to stand up and we celebrate Mr. Kabuye's life. And then I'll put his cakes here. We'll eat them as desserts, as a last tribute. And we'll continue crying, but I'll celebrate his life. Salam kama mweshi mnende. I'm sorry when I'm so ate nange n'abaana bange atuwa amaani ne family yange nga tusigadde kuza abaana nga bwe yayagala bakuze nga tubadde tubakuze. Rest in peace, my friend.
know you're thinking that I couldn't know about the pain inside you never showed. The look that's in your eyes, how it betrays the picture painted by the words that you say.
It's hard to reach out from behind a wall, so drop your defenses, just let them fall.